This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Hitler's Death, The Eyewitnesses, by Peter David Orr. Introduction. Hitler's Death, The Eyewitnesses scrutinizes the claims made by 17 people who claimed to have seen Adolf Hitler dead on April 30, 1945. One must differentiate between those who claim to have been eyewitnesses and the hearsay witnesses. To qualify as an eyewitness requires a direct experience. An eyewitness is an individual who has personally observed an event, incident, or situation through their own senses, typically sight, and can provide first-hand information or testimony about what they saw or experienced. Did they see the suicide? If so, they are eyewitnesses. Did they see the corpse following the suicide? What if they did not see the suicide or the corpse themselves but were told about aspects by others? Then they are hearsay witnesses. Hearsay accounts do not carry the same weight as eyewitness accounts because they weren't and can't be subjected to the same scrutiny. Hearsay witnesses can't be properly cross-examined, for instance. On the other hand, not all hearsay accounts are automatically untrustworthy or irrelevant. For example, sometimes reasonable arguments for their inclusion can be made to establish a broader context. Other times these accounts can reasonably be considered direct knowledge in some way. Some hearsay witnesses made material and relevant contextual statements without witnessing anything directly, as would be the case for someone speaking with an eyewitness and later reporting the mental and emotional state of the eyewitness who had told them what happened. In the case of Hitler's suicide, eyewitnesses are those who claim to have been first-hand, contemporary witnesses to some aspect of Hitler's suicide, including the burning and/or burial/disposal of the corpse. Even less weight should be given to those who are corroborating witnesses. A corroborating witness may not have been in Berlin at the time. What they know is even less reliable, as it is a form of hearsay, often twice or three times removed. For these reasons, hearsay witnesses and corroborating witnesses aren't included in this book. If what they have to say interests you, my book, Hitler's Suicide, Reasonable Doubt, covers all the witnesses, no matter how untrustworthy. The same goes for expert witnesses. They belong to a separate category as professionals whose expertise may be helpful when it comes to achieving an understanding of complex forensic evidence. Their statements, opinions, analyses, and conclusions are expected to be scientifically sound. Expert witnesses are supposed to serve as an objective party. Their role isn't to function as an advocate. Expert witnesses are not included in this book. Lastly, there are those who initially said they were eyewitnesses but later retracted that claim. They must be included in this book because people continue to treat them as if they were eyewitnesses. Chapter 1. Heinz Linge. Almost 30 years prior to the latest edition of Heinz Linge's memoirs, the original manuscript was published in 1980, edited by German historian Werner Maser. It was never published in English but would have been titled, Until the Downfall, The Memoirs of Hitler's Chief Valet. In terms of Hitler's final days, there are only minor differences between the 1980 and 2009 versions, primarily due to German to English translation. Since key elements of Linge's account have changed over the years, his statements are presented in chronological order. I stopped a little way off, regained control of myself, and slowly retraced my steps toward the door to the map room. And then I noticed the whiff of smoke. Slowly I pushed the door open. Linge clearly indicates that Hitler's suicide took place in the map room. It must be recalled that Linge was Hitler's most important personal servant. As an SS lieutenant colonel and chief valet since 1939, he also led Hitler's personal service staff, including cooks and orderlies, and was part of Hitler's personal security unit. He knew every room and its contents because he had personally supervised the move of Hitler's things into the Führer bunker when the bombing of Berlin became too frequent. Is it possible that Hitler's chief valet was confusing Hitler's private quarters with the map room? What location for Hitler's suicide had Linge identified in his earliest recounting of this fateful day?
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.